This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
What's up, everybody? It's another Philly Sports Guy show. Today is Tuesday, September 27th, and it was a quiet day in Philly sports. But we all watched the game last night, anyways, didn't we? Well, as much as we could watch that game, because it was a snooze fest. Wow, was that a really boring game? It started out exactly as I called it. I was saying the entire time that I thought the Giants were going to win this game, that I thought that they would win this game without scoring a touchdown. And lo and behold, they wound up scoring touchdowns in the fourth quarter, like late in the third quarter after the incredible, boring first half. I was broadcasting live last night on TikTok, trying to just get through the game. And you want to talk about just like boring. It was ridiculous. It was, it reminds me of one game. I think it was in Pittsburgh. It might have been the Cardinals versus Pittsburgh or something like that. It was a Monday night football game. They had it raining ridiculously. And, at one point, the Cardinals punted the ball and it came down and landed in the ground and it just stuck in the ground. But then that game, I think, ended 3-0 because the Steelers wound up kicking a field goal to win the game. It was like that. It was like that. It was just very, very difficult to watch. However, the Cowboys did wind up winning that game 23-16. I understand that all Cowboys fans, every Cowboys fan is going to start off by saying, hey, when Dak comes back, we're going to be so much better. There were too many things that happened yesterday that shows me that the Dallas Cowboys got some work to do. They have some real do. And so do the Giants. Obviously, the Giants got lucky the first couple of weeks, and they just did not get lucky against the Cowboys. They needed to come out and smack them in the mouth, and they just couldn't do it. And they couldn't put the puck in the net. It's either they would start driving and then they'd stop. Same thing with the Cowboys. Cowboys would start driving and then they'd get stopped. It was getting bad. It was just getting ugly. It was like, what was the final? The score at the halftime, 6-6. Is that what that was? Oh, I'm sorry, 6-3. It was 6-3. It was 6-6 for a while, and then all of a sudden it's 13-6, and it's 13-13. It just I don't know. It was a tough game to watch all the way around. Cowboys fans are all excited. It's back to being their year again. You know what I mean? And the Giants are like, we're 2-1 though, so it ain't that bad. They're tied. Both looking up the skirt of the birds because we are at 3-0, alone on top of the NFC East, just where we're supposed to be. We got Jacksonville coming up this week, and let me tell you, that's going to be a tougher game than everybody likes to think. Jacksonville is not going to be a pushover. This is not the Jacksonville of last year. This is not the Jacksonville of the year before that. This isn't the same team that had two number one draft picks in a row. Doug, these guys fired up. He's got them playing pretty well. They are number one in the AFC South right now, and they just beat the Colts. And I got to imagine that this is going to have a little bit more emotion on the Eagles side going forward, that they are going to be doing their thing to try to be able to um, get over the emotional thought process with Doug Peterson. Doug was their coach for a while. He won our first Super Bowl here. He was the Super Bowl winning coach here, and there is going to be a lot of process from him on how they want to beat him. And when a quarterback does it, the emotion of a quarterback affects their game. When a whole team or a good portion of the team is affected by emotion, it's going to make things a little bit more difficult. I wouldn't say that Jacksonville is going to be the end all be all. And the game that we see here from the Eagles on Sunday is going to be more emotionally based than any other game, I think, this year. At least until we get towards the end of the season, we start playing Dallas. Like I said, Dallas goes for my birthday, have you. But I tell you, I think this is going to be a real tough game. Doug's got Lawrence playing pretty well. He's got that team fired up. He brought the vanilla ice cream over to Jacksonville, and they're eating it all up. So it's going to be a fun game to watch. And listen, if you want to come, you want to come to my tailgate. We're going to be tailgating over in the Navy Yard. So if you ain't got nothing to do this Sunday, you're able to go to the gatehouse at the Navy Yard. It's free parking over there. You go look on phillysportstrips.com, look for the Philly Sports Guy tailgate or the Jacksonville tailgate, and you'll be able to find it all day long. And you get to, like I said, come enjoy open bar, all the food that you can want to eat from Cavs Catering, great stuff. So I'm looking forward to this Sunday. And I'm also looking forward to see what happens with now the Cowboys and the Giants, because like I said, they didn't look too good yesterday. Obviously, somebody had to win. We could not have a tie. Did not want to have a tie. That's like the worst thing in the world that we could have in the division is having a tie. So at least there was a winner. I didn't care who won. Dallas won. They're, like I said, now they're tied for second place, and we still the best division in football. It's like I think there's another division that may have one more win than us, but they ain't played each other yet. So I think we're going to be just fine going forward. But it was, like I said, that was a hideous game. I know people, I was talking to people yesterday, and they're like, I'm falling asleep here. I was falling asleep at the bar watching it. It was bad. It was ugly. It was disgusting. But it's over now. It's over now, and we're getting ready to move on for the end of the week. So if everybody got their fantasy plays, I hope their fantasy teams won. My fantasy teams, I had, it was a great week for me. For me personally, I had the winner, the Eagles won, and all three of my fantasy teams won this week. That's probably a first for me ever, because I tell you, I suck at fantasy football. I am horrible at fantasy football. Like if if you ever played fantasy football with me, you realize that most of the time I am in last place. I am bringing up the rear. And the one league that I do all the time, the one league that I've been playing on forever, it seems, that we have a reverse tournament where you have to lose to keep going in the tournament for the bottom tier group. And that's a tournament that I seem to win every year. So, and it doesn't matter if I've won a few games or not during the year. I just can't seem to win them at the end of the year. And we get what's called the horse's ass trophy, and that's usually won by me. So for fantasy football this year, I happen to be doing a little bit differently. I changed some of my ideas, how to do things about this, and been winning some games. So maybe I won't. Maybe I can actually make a playoffs or something like that this year, and we'll see what happens. That said, after watching that game yesterday, I have no doubt in my mind that the Eagles are going to win this division. I know it's only week 3, and I know that Dak Prescott's going to add a different wrinkle on things. And what happens, I feel like that their offense is very stagnant. And you know, I've always been touting the Cowboys coaching staff in terms of how I want that head coach to be the head coach forever because I just do not think he's a very good head coach. And I tell you, their offensive coordinator, I don't understand. I just don't understand. I mean, I don't get paid any money to coach football at all. And if I was the coach of the Dallas Cowboys and I saw how Pollard running all over the place every time they handed him the ball, at one point he had 81 yards or 91 yards on 8 carries. Why wouldn't you give him the ball? Why wouldn't you give him the ball more? I mean, I don't understand. I mean, not that Zeke Elliott was doing it. I think he got 73 yards. But it was just so bad that it's like, come on now, come on, ridiculous. I tell you, it starts with Jerry. Obviously, since Jerry started playing GM, they haven't won much of anything. Since they got Schwitzer and all that stuff. Obviously, he won the Super Bowl, and for the last 25 years, they had more. They showed it right before the game. They had 10 wins in those 10 playoff wins in those 4 years of the 3 Super Bowls. And they have won only 4 games in the playoffs since that time. P.U. But they're going to, all the Dallas fans are going to say it's America's team. Nope. Because America wins most of the time. Not the Dallas Cowboys. They stink. So, anyways, we're gonna get moving forward here. I was enough. I wanted to talk about those 2 teams, but like I said, top of the NFC East, not tied with the Giants. I'm sure Sneaky's crying somewhere. He's got to come back home all depressed because he did not beat the Cowboys in their whiteout. I got the email because I bought tickets up at Giant Stadium. They said, "Hey, everybody, wear their whites." Yeah, P.U. Eagles are looking real good and real strong right now. And by far, we have the best receiving core in the NFC East, if not in the whole conference. I mean, it's arguably the best. I would compare it, and I actually think in the AFC, because there's only 2 teams that are undefeated anymore: the Dolphins and the Birds. And wouldn't you believe it, that they probably have the 2 best wide receiver tandems in the NFL. It's a passing league. You got to have the wide receivers. And I would say that Hill and Waddle and Brown and Smith are probably neck and neck for the best wide receiving tandem in the NFL. It's good to be a conversation. As I'd say, go Birds. Yeah. All right. But anyways, I'm going to go to my commercial break here early because we got some more to talk about. There's a Phillies game tonight. Here's a Flyers exhibition game tonight up in Buffalo. Talk a little bit about those. Also want to go over a couple of things that we've got going on today. So definitely stay tuned right after these commercial messages. We'll be right back.
And welcome to the Everyday GSD podcast. Today's special guest. Welcome to the military podcast.
It's the man of the job. It's the man of anything. Success is based on participation. So I participate
Daily, yeah.
For those who don't know, it's Cold War era.
Anybody wants to hear anything I have to say, but you and I have a lot of great conversations.
Everyday GSD is more than just a podcast. It's a movement. It's a way of life. The show's guests come from all walks of life and all have the same everyday get shit done mentality in common. Many are former military special operators who are now everyday GSDing in their civilian life. Others are civilians who get shit done on a daily basis. Veteran, prior military, the goal is to motivate and inspire through like-minded guests sharing epic life stories. Ultimately, what we want the audience to realize is every day is an opportunity to get up and get shit done. My name is Darren Bebo, and I everyday GSD.
This is Jonica, and I everyday GSD.
My name is Mike Rebell, and I everyday GSD.
This is Jeffrey Barnett, and I everyday GSD.
This is Wojo, and I everyday GSD.
This is Jake, and I everyday GSD.
My name is Hannah Gaber, and I everyday GSD.
This is Rachel, and I everyday GSD.
My name's Keith Dixon, and I everyday GSD.
My name's Kyle McCord, and I everyday GSD.
I mean, you can see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboys fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready. I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face. Oh, from Brooklyn. Hey, guys, any...
We are back today. We are, tonight at 8 o'clock tonight. Go to my living room over at Dolan's Bar where you could go see. We're going to be doing free Quizzo. It's the best Quizzo in Delaware County every Tuesday night. And we got some great giveaways tonight. We're going to be doing Quizzo. Hey, listen, come learn something. It's going to be a lot of fun. Best Quizzo in Delaware County at the Most Delco Bar, Dolan's in downtown Ridley Park. Also, other thing to go over with you guys, because the announcement is coming out now for everybody who is going to Arizona. We are going to have the first ever PSG Charity Open. It's a mini golf tournament that we're going to have. We're having the mini golf tournament in an indoor facility in Scottsdale, Arizona on Friday at October 7th at 2 o'clock. Hollis Thomas is going to be there. Instagram model and Eagles super fan Sammy Draper also going to be in attendance there. Cost is only $40. They give you a free drink right down the street at the 92nd Street Cafe, too. And one person who comes in attendance is going an autograph football by Jason Kelsey. It's definitely going to be a lot of fun, all benefiting the Eagles Autism Foundation. It's going to be a great time had by all. Definitely come out there if you're in Arizona on October 7th. And then last thing I want to talk about real fast before we get it back into sports, I travel with Philly Sports Trips obviously all the time. And, my 50th birthday is coming up. My birthday is on October 20th. I am going to be turning 50 years old, and it's on a Thursday. So I'm probably going to have a few drinks there at my local establishment there at Dolan's Bar. Probably. I don't see where else I'm going to go. I'll probably spend some time with my kids for a few minutes because you only turn 50 once, spend some time and then go have a few cocktails over at Dolan's Bar. So if you're not doing anything on October 20th, come with me to Dolan's Bar. I would be there around 8 o'clock, and we'll have a good time, have a few drinks and a few laughs. Also, after that, we're going down to Nashville. That's where the real party's going to be. My 50th birthday is going to be down in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm going to start it off on the 22nd. We're going to Flyers game. We may go to the Titans Colts game that's going to be happening in Nashville, but we're going to take over Broadway and have a blast down there in Nashville to celebrate my 50th birthday. You can go to phillysportstrips.com and look for the Nashville. Tell them the Philly Sports Guy sent you, that you want to go celebrate his 50th birthday with me, the Philly Sports Guy. And I ain't going to have the shoulder pads on, which means I get to travel light this time because I don't have to carry a suitcase that's got a body in it. But anyways, let's get back to the sports. Enough on the commercials here. The Phillies get back at it tonight. They are up against the Cubs, and we owe something to the Cubs. If everybody remembers, right after the All-Star break, we had a series with the Cubs, and they swept us. They swept us. And that was after we swept the Marlins going into the All-Star break. So we owe them a little bit. And we've got a little bit of a road skid going on right now. I think that we are, we've lost the last 4 or 5 games. Is that what's been happening here? Let me see how many games we've lost in a row. 4-game skid. It's been a 4-game skid on the road. So it's time to go ahead and let's win these games. We've got to beat these teams now. These are lesser teams. We have to go ahead and beat them, get that number back down. Right now, the magic number is at 8. A win and a loss by Milwaukee, be down to 6, 4, 2 very quickly. Right now, Milwaukee is playing the Cardinals. They're going to have a tough time with them. I know that the Cardinals always like to play within the division. Like I said, they have 9 games. Their 9 games are all on the road. The Phillies have 10 games, all of them on the road, including 1. But we start off tonight with Wheeler. Wheeler is going up against Marcus Stroman. Wheeler has got 11-7 record, 2.98 ERA, and 151 strikeouts. Going up against Marcus Stroman, who is 4-7 with a 3.8 ERA and 106 strikeouts. Like I said, I'd like to see the bats. They got a little bit of rest yesterday. They're in Chicago. It's going to be a little windy out there. This game starts our time at 7:40. It's going to be a good game to watch. You can come to Dolan's and watch that specifically here. And you're going to see me a little bit painted up tonight in a little bit of a funny way. I'll get over that. I'll get to that in just a few minutes as well, because not only are the Phillies playing, but, hockey season began. And I know that right now the Flyers are not in the forefront of everybody's mind. The Flyers right now have had some challenges. They had some challenges last year. People are not very high on the executive portion. I am one included. I'm very critical of this team. And I don't like some of the moves that they have done. So, the fact that we did not get Johnny Gaudreau bothered, and the fact that we weren't even in the mix bothers me. I know that they're not going to be a very good team, and that's, when we get the worst record in the league, we're going to lose because Bettman does not like to have the Flyers pick number 1. And I'm not sure that I want us to pick number 1 anyways, because I don't like the number 1 guy, Bedard. I'd rather have number 2, McTavish. Those two are the 1 and number 2 in that order. I would much rather see Chicago, who's also going to have a stinky team this season, probably get the number 1 pick, and they're going to wind up taking Bedard, and we take McTavish. And I think McTavish is going to be a much better player than Bedard moving forward. Like I said, they're both very good right now. They've helped Canada win the juniors just most recently. And like I said, I think that McTavish is ready to play. I think Bedard's ready to play too. So it's going to be easy. It's going to be an interesting season to see, but it might be a tough one to watch for the Flyers moving forward. Because as of right now, obviously they won the first game. It's a preseason game. They beat Boston. Yippee-yi-yay. This is Buffalo. Yippee-yi-yay. You know what I mean? It don't matter how many games you win in the preseason. You got to bring it in the regular season. And I don't know that the Flyers got the horses to be able to run this race. But we will see moving forward. It's like you got to start somewhere. We'll see what this coach can do and if he can bring some energy up to the ice. I don't care what the the players actually do. I think it's the executives that are going to have the harder challenge, that they have to do the right moves and do the right things moving forward here, because it's a little tough. So with these last couple of minutes, I know, like I said, that game starts at 7 o'clock tonight, so you can come to Dolan's a little early, and like I said, go. You'll see. Start with the Flyers, end with the Phillies, while you're playing some free Quizzo and drinking and having a good time. But tonight, when I go to Quizzo, you're going to see the Sixers Philly sports guy in attendance. And now you're asking, Sixers haven't started yet. Why would you be in the Sixers gear? That's because I was invited to go practice with the Sixers today at their camp. And you're going to see, I'm going to give you a couple of posts about it today. We're going to be shooting around on the practice facility in Camden, the Philly sports guy playing around with some of the Sixers. Now, I can't say for certain if, the main guys are going to be there, Embiid and, Harden. Hopefully they are. And if they are, I'm going to be super excited about it. But if they aren't, that's okay, because there's going to be, I think Maxi's definitely going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to try to go live and show you what's going on and how all that's working. But I'm very excited, and that's all brought to us. Let me speak intelligently. I was invited over there by Life Brand. So I'm going to tag them in my post today. It's going to be a lot of fun. I get to shoot around for a couple hours with the Sixers on their practice facility. It's going to be an absolute blast, and I'm very excited for that. That's today, and then on Thursday, I get to go again, all painted up in Union colors, because I'm going to go do a practice and a scrimmage with some of the Union players. I tell you, this is going to be a crazy week in total. Where I'm getting to practice with the Sixers, practice with the Union, Eagles on Sunday. It's Phillies all week long as we get ready for the hunt for Red October. It is in full effect. Red October is coming, baby, and I'm excited. I want to see us go up to St. Louis. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I thought I was going to be able to make it over to St. Louis for one of the games. Unfortunately, I'm going to be in Arizona, so because the Eagles are playing in Arizona, and that's where I'm going first and foremost. So, unfortunately, I will not be able to make it to the playoff games, but we'll be able to see it in Arizona. I'm going to be all painted up for the Phillies there. I'm going to take all my stuff with me to make sure that I represent. It doesn't matter where we go, and we're going to be having a good time. And like I said, if you haven't booked for Arizona yet, get yourself out there. We're opening up. We're having a meet and greet with Seth Joyner and Hollis Thomas. Like I said, Sammy Draper is going to be there. You follow her on Instagram. She's probably one of the cutest Eagles fans that are out there right now. Along with just everybody else, Hollis Thomas, Bell and the Birdman, the Philly sports guy, and everybody else that's going to be out there. Fourth and John, E-Rock. The list keeps going and going and going. So definitely come on out to Arizona, especially because you want to go play miniature golf for charity. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, guys, I want to appreciate everybody hanging with me for a half hour. It wasn't a lot of Philly sports, but you got to find out a lot about what's going on with the Philly sports guy. And like I said, it's all going to be exciting going on this week as we welcome back Doug Peterson here on Sunday and everything that leads all the way up to that. So, as always, go Philly, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.